welcome to Editing with My Wife, the only podcast that's set in a abandoned building. My name is The Hooded Philosopher, and I'm here with Cheesy Loops. Cheesy, what kind of podcast are we doing here?
It's a podcast where we take a trip, but not a normal trip to the mall.
An abandoned one, too. Not a normal mall. So, before we get there, we need to catch everything up. Are you ready for that?
Recap.
So first, I, the writer, never wish to intend to harm to presidents. I don't have any ill will, and I do not wish to harm them. But in my book, a president is shot in the head.
But not any named president that we know of currently.
Yeah, President Forrester, not a real president. But the reason why it happens is because Leslie convinced him to plant a seed, and that seed opened the portal. And
Yes.
then people started spilling out of the portal. And chaos started reigning. The president got shot, and then Renner, Otto, Izzy, and Hannah go down into the White House and fix it as best they can, while Zig, up in his spaceship, makes it so that the other guy can't do it anymore.
And they make sure the vice president is safe.
And yeah, and they have the vice president. In fact, the vice president is in their home. I don't know if you got that.
Yes.
Their home back in McLean.
Yes.
So that's kind of where headquarters is for the government until she figures it out. I'm sure that the reality is that the president would have a backup situation set up in advance. I don't really care. I'm telling a story.
But, I mean, also, most of those places are compromised. You would suspect that
They could be.
That they could be compromised, and then going to wherever they get teleported to, they're like, okay, let's make this HQ.
Yeah.
So, all right.
But in the next chapter, as they're exploring and helping people, what happens?
Zig sees an emotional thing where he's like, they're using his image as
His people's image.
His people's image as a way to bring fear.
And he's like very, very not a fear-forcing person. He's a very kind, loving character. I don't ever want people to see him as afraid of him until they see him for Zig. So he comes up and says, "Look, this is what I look like. Die. Go die, everyone on this planet."
Yeah.
He's just trying to intimidate them into giving up. And of course, that's not going to work. So what does he do?
Well, I mean, it also lends to a fact of, like, when humans are, what's the words I'm looking for? Humans are motivated by fear.
Yeah.
And he's playing on that.
He's trying to get that to work. And it probably is working a little bit in the people down there.
Oh, yeah.
That's a terrifying thought. Mm-hmm. An alien race that clearly is more powerful than just telling you you're going to die. So they go through the White House, right?
They go back to the White House.
They start putting people back into they're in for Earth.
Yes, to get the sides to be the right way again. Trying to make everything equal on both sides.
Well, yeah, connect them so that they're the same so they can remerge them.
Yes, and they intimidate everybody back into... They use that same fear tactic, intimidating people back into the... With the goal of not killing anybody. Mm-hmm. And then they find out there's a bomb. Mm-hmm. And Hannah uses the image of Troon.
He really throws it up there, and the military starts shooting at it out of fear. Because why wouldn't you? It's terrifying.
It's terrifying and huge.
But that wasn't the real threat. You were using Troon as a distraction from the real threat, which was...
The boys tackling.
A bomb.
A bomb, yeah.
Oh, did you say that already?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you say.
They use Troon as a... Distraction so they can get the bomb.
So they can get that guy, push him back through the portal so the explosion won't happen, and Zig can get rid of the bomb.
Yes.
Alright. So after that, they head up. I think Otto collapses because he's so tired, and Renner wants to go still, but...
Yeah, Hannah and Otto are exhausted.
Oh, that was the right one. I need this. So here we are. Yeah, Otto collapsed. Hannah was sitting next to him. They were both exhausted. So they gave Otto some time.
Yep. Chapter 19. Ooh, we don't have a name for this.
Oh, you're right. Oh, no.
Killing is wrong. I thought you were going to think of a mall pun.
Maybe, but I think this makes the point of what the chapter is about.
Going to the mall to meet new people. Chapter 19, Killing is Wrong. They ate veggies. After Otto came to, he began to eat as well. He and Hannah were even instructed to ingest a bottle of curative. They did regain their strength. When they were ready, Zig informed them that after an extensive scan, he found only 24 left. Can I have a little bit of clay to play with in my fingies? Renner let out a sigh.
Any particular color?
No. Let's get to work. The first is hiding with 3 others in the attic of an abandoned home. Whee. The home was pretty big. The thing was 3 stories tall, the attic above that. 4 were standing in front of the house, the building towering above them. I'll take point. Izzy has the rear. Renner opened the door and walked in, assault rifle at the ready. Otto was next, followed by Hannah, and then Izzy holding her sister's living claymore. Woo!
It's the 4.
The 4.
The 4 of them were standing in the house. I thought, for my mind was saying, wait, did I put in there that there were 4 people in front of the house? Which there are, but it's the heroes, not the people they're targeting.
I see.
And my mind got messed up, so I wanted to kind of clarify.
Okay. They walked up to the 2nd floor, followed the hallway until it turned back on itself going up the stairs. Then went to the 3rd floor.
There's another set of stairs, and they take it up.
Above them was the entrance to the attic, where a quiet shuffle was occasionally heard. Renner motioned Otto to place the portal at the top of the stairs. He did when they all went behind the attic entrance and pulled it down. Some scrambling was heard above them. Go home through the portal and live, Renner shouted.
Go home through the portal and live!
Hey, that's a better way to do it.
Yeah, there's a point when Hannah says something in the next chapter that we were reading that, like, there's some emotion that has to be put into that, too, that I wasn't doing. Anyway.
Yeah, but you're the boys anyway.
Yeah.
To be a boy.
Oh, 3 people ran through the portal.
Oh, Zig is not gendered.
No.
He is not gendered, so...
He is in his visual form.
He is in his visual form.
Yeah, but once he changed to his alien form, that disappeared.
But
They
you don't voice Zig
feminism.
because of his gender. You voice Zig because of the particular way you want him to speak.
He speaks in a very specific way. Like he has to because he's bigger than us. So he has to speak bigger than us in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And you'll see, I think Hannah start doing it in the end.
Zig informed them.
We know there's someone left up through there to go through the portal and live.
Renner repeated. There was gunfire above them. Hannah covered the ceiling in her liquid metal to prevent the bullets from coming through.
It worked.
When she did, it shattered the ladder that was leading up to the attic. They heard him shout in pain.
Sorry.
Hooded's changing a line that I've already read.
So Hannah covered the ceiling with her liquid metal to prevent the bullets from coming through. It worked.
Okay.
I just wanted to add that in there to make sure that it's obvious that she stopped it all.
Hannah made herself levitate through a hole and made her liquid metal. She made in her liquid metal.
So she has the liquid metal above her. She made a hole and levitated through it.
The man had collapsed from a gunshot wound. His leg was bleeding. He had shot his own femoral artery. Hannah used a bit of her metal to plug the wound. He came to screaming in pain as Izzy had pulled the gun from his hand.
Now Hannah did something very smart by putting the metal in there.
Yes.
But what's your?
I want to do editing, but we got to read through.
Oh, okay. Yes, you're right.
The wound stopped bleeding.
I gotta stop editing.
Yeah, the wound stopped bleeding from the metal being on it. When she took the metal back, there was a healthy scar over the wound. She had used some of the curative Zig had given them. The boys grabbed the man and helped him through the portal. Only 20 more, Hannah said, trying to be encouraging. Zig pulled them back up. They ate some veggies and rehydrated. He found 8 of them wandering around a mall that had been abandoned in the chaos. They were wandering around, looting. There were 2 floors to the mall. It had an L shape to it. They had settled
that they would need to split.
Okay. Each taking an entrance, then pushing them to the fountain in the center where Otto would pour
So
them
that's
out.
the plan. Mm-hmm. Maybe I need to clarify that when we get into editing.
Yeah. Zig sent each of them to their own entrance. Renner had the longest entry point, the main entrance at the top of the L.
So right at the top where the L shape happens, the big long entrance is where he came in. Yeah. So that's Renner.
Yeah. Pin.
I could also do this. L shape. Renner. Here.
Hehehe.
Is he?
I'm trying to figure out where I read it at. Oh, okay. He had a bag with him.
In case there's any confusion.
He reached in and pulled out a gold-coated shotgun and a box of ammo to match. He loaded the gun as he started walking towards the fountain. I have a slight problem with that, and we'll get back into it.
Yes. It's got a purpose for being there.
Okay. He started walking toward the fountain, where two people in front of him. Where there were
two people in front of him.
When they saw him, Renner shouted, "Don't move." They obeyed. One of them was carrying around a machete. Drop the weapon. Drop the weapon.
Drop the weapons.
Ah, thank you. They did what he asked. As he got closer, when he got close enough to see them, they were kids, only 14 or 15.
Cool gun.
One of them commented. He instructed them to keep walking down the hallway. A man on the second floor leapt into a nearby banner and slid down it, landing on top of Renner, and they began wrestling the gun away from him. Izzy was entering through the entrance that was on the long side of the L. Okay.
Long side. This is on the long side.
This one right here.
Yeah, or on the other side, yeah. Whichever way mine puts it.
Okay.
Because you can really come in from either.
Yeah. Whew. She saw 3 people talking about a trash can they were opening.
Around a trash can.
A trash can.
They were opening things they had collected. She
had a knife and a claymore sword from Hannah, both with sheaths. Placing the sword in its holster on her back, Hannah took out the dagger.
She always carries the sword if she can. She loves that sword.
She had the blade around the man's neck before anyone saw her. "Go towards the fountain," she said menacingly. The 2 men walked...
Go towards the fountain.
Yes, I know.
Menacingly.
I'm still trying to just read it. I didn't know she said menacingly until
the 2 of them walked toward the fountain.
She stayed there until she heard a crash from the other direction. "Let's go," she said, pressing the man she was holding hostage to walk towards the noise.
She was pressing the man she was holding hostage to walk towards. Okay, keep going.
When they got there, she saw the 2 children and told them to walk toward the fountain. They took off, away from the tussle. She threw a dagger at the man who was on Renner. As if responding to her thought, it soared through the air and directly into the man's leg, burying itself into the floor for good measure. The man reacted, grabbing at the hilt, pulling it out, and tossing it aside. Renner stood over him, pointing the gun at him. Izzy let go of her hostage, and the pair pushed them towards the fountain. A crash and gunfire erupted from the other side of the mall. Scroll!
Now we switch over to Hannah, who is coming in.
Hannah was at the short end of the L.
Oh, maybe I have it backwards. Otto was coming in through the middle. Oops.
No.
Go ahead.
What?
If she's at the short end of the L, that would be here, where Otto is.
Yeah.
She's coming in, and Otto's coming in this way. I have it backwards here.
Okay. I see. Okay. Okay. She walked in, a screen displaying women in underwear. There was a noise at the nearby kiosk. Hannah sent a large polished orb over the kiosk and saw the reflection of 2 people crouched behind the counter. Otto creeped into view, his door not being very far away. He was doing his best at sneaking, but Hannah saw movement at the top floor. It was a person. He was aiming down his sights at Otto. The orb above the kiosk flew directly toward the man, destroying the floor underneath him. His gunfire as he fell. Otto was hit in the chaos. The people behind the kiosk were lighting something on fire. A Molotov cocktail flew in the direction of Otto. The orb flew over to it, surrounding it, absorbing the explosion. Hannah was standing above them, metal surrounding their hands. She coughed up some blood because of the explosion. With a fury that even Renner would be afraid to feel, she lifted them up by the handcuffs and held them by the fountain.
"I'm okay, Hannah,"
Otto said. He was hit in his side, but it felt like just a graze. So he stood up and introduced himself to the man that shot him. Otto pointed the assault rifle at him and slid the other weapon behind them. Hannah slipped some of her metal, carrying the curative liquid over Otto's wound. He shouted, then felt better. He straightened up. Hannah picked up the other gun, metal slipping over the hands of the other men. Otto walked over to the fountain and opened a portal to the other world. They walked through one at a time, Otto counting each one until they got to 8, and then closed the portal. Then Zig asked if all was well from up there. He replied by
bringing them up.
Oh, then asked Zig if all was well.
Then I guess we could say someone specific. Let's say Otto.
Then Otto asked if Zig was...
If it was all well. If all was well from up there. If all the stuff was done from up where he saw it.
He replied by bringing them up.
And then, of course, if it's done, why would we even say anything? Just bring them up.
Yeah. They refueled and got ready for the next one. Everyone was haggard, but they pushed on anyway. Zig brought up the next screen. 6 red dots in a circle on an open field. What are they doing? Hannah asked inquisitively. It would seem that they have... Oh, tag, you're it.
It would seem that they have some commune with nature. Infrazig must come to dominate nature before he can obtain divinity. If he has people on either side trying to get in touch with nature, then she may listen. She may just listen.
Zig finished.
Like the she. So we need to disrupt us. So we need to disrupt it on both sides.
Renner guessed. Zig nodded.
Just send us inside the forest nearby.
They were surrounded by trees. Otto opened a portal to the other side. Who's going?
Who's going?
Oh, sorry.
It's fine. I do it to you.
Yeah.
Who's going?
He asked. I'll go, Izzy said, holding her box.
Zig said that... This is me. No, this is you. Sorry.
Zig said, Infrazig is gone, remember? That button may not work on the other side, Hannah said, making a copy of Troon. I'll take care of it alone if you can get them back into their world. Just open a portal and I'll start. They agreed, and she stepped through. I hope she'll be okay, Izzy said as Hannah disappeared beyond the portal. Woo, white screen.
Izzy said ominously as Hannah disappeared beyond the portal.
You're editing on the feed.
Well, it's the end of the thing. So.
Okay. Hannah was alone on the other side. Tired from all the work, she became angry. Why couldn't life be normal for me? Mm-hmm. She felt it was time for a temper tantrum. Before the portal was open, she was on a hovering platform. Small balls of metal poised above them. She sent metal over their heads. When the portal opened, she screamed and pounded her fists on the metal beneath her. The metal shot down into their heads, killing them instantly, anger subsiding as she came through the portal.
The boys had their guns. Izzy stayed close to the edge of the forest. Then they had them surrounded. They advanced on the 6 people. The 6 people stood in circle wearing robes and chanting. Izzy and Otto and Renner came running in, shouting for them to get closer together. The people complied, getting close together. Otto opened the portal. He saw them on the ground. He saw them all on the ground. What he chose not to see was the blood pooling around them. Hannah walked through, and they pushed the people back through the portal and closed it behind them. They all hugged Hannah, happy to see her again. Then Zig brought them up. When Hannah got up there, she vomited and collapsed.
Yeah, that needs to be fixed a little bit. But let's scroll up and start at the top.
Okay. So what happened in the previous chapter is them falling from exhaustion. This is them coming back from the exhaustion.
Yeah.
Right? And they gave them a bottle of curative to help them through it.
Right. So they ate veggies. After Otto came to, he began eating as well. He and Anna were even instructed to ingest a bottle of curative. It tasted like berries.
They did. They did so and regained their strength.
So instead of saying they did, because it says it tasted like berries, get rid of they did. Nope. Even instructed to ingest a bottle of curative. It tasted like berries, regaining their strength. When they were ready, Zig informed them that after an extensive scan, he found only 24 infrahumans left.
Invaders
left. Renner let out a sigh. Let's get to work.
Let's get to work.
The first is hiding with 3 others in the attic of abandoned home. Zig explained.
The home was pretty big. The thing was 3 stories tall with an attic above that.
Ooh, okay, real quick. Do you want to say that Zig sent them down? Because right now they're all on Zig, and then all of a sudden they're in front of the house. Is that a problem? Then sent them down.
Yeah, you're right. It needs to be like said at least. I guess you could extrapolate, but I can say it too. It's not a lot.
The home was pretty big. The house was 3 stories tall. The attic above that. The home was a pretty big building. It was 3 stories tall. Put it there.
The home was pretty big. The building was 3 stories tall. The attic above that.
The 4 were standing in front of the house, the building towering above them.
I used building twice then.
It's okay. I feel like that sentence probably needs to be reworked a little bit in the fact that The home was pretty big. It was 3 stories tall, with the attic above that. The 4 was standing in front of the house, the building towering above them. I'll take point. Izzy has the rear. Renner opened the door and walked in, assault rifle at the ready. Otto was next, followed by Hannah, then Izzy holding her sister's living claymore. They walked up to the 2nd floor, followed the hallway until it turned back on itself, going up the stairs. So it's like the house is kind of funkily built, that the stairs are on a circle.
It goes this, up, one on one set, then you turn around, up another set, you're on the 2nd story, and then there's a set of stairs nearby that goes to a 3rd story.
Okay. Above them was an entrance to the attic, where a quiet shuffle was occasionally heard. Renner motioned to Otto to place the portal at the top of the stairs. He did. Then they all went behind the attic entrance and pulled it down. Then, not when.
Or just a comma. You did. They all went behind the attic entrance and pulled
Pulled it down. Some scrabbling was heard above them. Go home through the portal and live.
Pulled its ladder down?
Pulled its ladder down, yeah.
Some scrabbling was heard above them. Go home through the portal and live, Renner shouted.
They would be able to see 3 people running through the portal.
No, they're behind the ladder. So
attic ladders are...
So if this is a top-down view, I can do this. So this is a top-down view, and that's the trap door, and the ladder comes down like this. They're back here. They wouldn't be able to see anything. They'd see through the ladder.
Yeah.
And maybe up inside of it, but there's no one there. They're all in the back, hiding.
So what you're saying is Otto didn't put it at the top of the stairs, he put it at the top of the ladder?
Yes. Yes. That's the problem. Yes. And he doesn't have to be there to open it, apparently.
Portal at the top of the stairs.
But the problem is I gotta switch it.
Yeah, so why would they even put the ladder down?
Well, the idea is that the trapdoor is above them, and they're standing to where the ladder would come down.
Yes.
And they look, and they see that, so they walk behind the thing and pull the ladder down, and then Otto puts the portal. And then he says, go home, that's what I need to do. You see what I mean? So Otto just has to, like, open it up there. Like that.
From the ladder?
Just go in. Yeah. Or even from below the ladder.
Right, so they don't need to pull the ladder down, do they? If the thing's already open. My thought was you're having the portal at the top of the stairs, and then they come down the ladder.
Yeah, I was trying to make it so that portal was at the top of the ladder, so that way they could just go.
Okay, so fix it. But they wouldn't need to open the ladder if the portal's at the entrance to the ladder, right?
Hold on.
Clap, clap time! To place a portal at the top of the ladder. They all went behind the attic entrance and pulled its ladder down. Otto snuck up the ladder just enough to place the portal to replace the trap door.
Does that make more sense?
Yes.
Renner motioned to Otto to place the portal at the top of the ladder. They all went behind the attic entrance and pulled the ladder down. Otto snuck up the ladder just enough to place the portal to place the portal to replace the trap door.
Yeah.
Went up just enough to replace the trap door
with
a portal. With the portal entrance.
With the portal. You don't have to put entrance.
Okay,
with the
fair
portal.
enough.
Some scrabbling was heard above them.
Go home through the portal and live,
Renner shouted. 3 people ran through the portal, Zig informed them. We know there's someone left. Go through the portal and live, Renner repeated. There was gunfire above them. Hannah covered the ceiling with her liquid metal to prevent the bullets from coming through. It worked. When she did, it shattered the ladder that was leading up to the attic. They heard him shout in pain.
So how did the ladder shatter? What happened? What caused the ladder to break?
the living metal.
Not the gunfire. Okay, because when you were reading it, my mind said maybe the gunfire broke it too. But it doesn't really matter because her liquid metal would do it regardless of the gunshots.
Yeah, they heard him shout in pain. Hannah made herself levitate through a hole she made in her liquid metal. The man had collapsed from the gunshot wound, his leg bleeding. He had shot his own femoral artery. Come after bleeding.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where we are.
Hannah used a bit of her metal to plug the wound. Instead of saying plug the wound...
Well, I have one other thing. Hold on.
The shot had ricocheted into his own femoral
Well,
hitting his
own femoral artery. His leg was bleeding. The
Just
shot
get
had
rid of
hitting hitting his own femoral artery.
His femoral artery is fine.
The own can go away because of the way I wrote it now.
Yeah.
The own was there justifiably in the last
Hannah
one.
used a bit of her metal to apply pressure to the wound.
Good point, yeah.
Yes.
Or even to apply...
To apply pressure, plugging the wound.
Comma.
Yeah. He came to screaming in pain as Izzy... Now, how did Izzy get up there?
They all went up there.
How?
Hannah. Stop them.
She levitated all
She
four.
could, couldn't she?
She could. I just want to... It's not clear.
Should I say that?
Because it says Hannah made herself levitate, but it does not say anybody else. That was my microphone falling. That's her siblings. Don't say climb that ladder. Okay.
Fuck you, I want the ladder. You better bleep that. Or I'll just mark it as explicit.
As her siblings climbed up her makeshift ladder, he came to screaming in pain as Izzy pulled the gun from his hand. The wound stopped bleeding from the metal being on it. When she took the metal back, there was a healthy scar over the wound. She had used some of the curative Zig had given them.
There's a trick happening here that you maybe didn't see.
Well, okay,
How is she applying the curative?
So here's the thing I'm thinking is happening is that because the living metal is her blood and that's how it gets all to her system, there's some curative still in there as a...
It's a little more simple than that. Those orbs she sends out have curing metal. In fact, she does it to Otto. She sends an orb with the curative in it. And I'm not saying that. I'm implying it. Should I say it?
No.
Okay. You can understand why that would be a question. I'm saying it wouldn't hurt. She had placed some of Zig's curative in the pocket of the metal she had created.
Instead of ingesting it for herself kind of thing.
No, she just had extra.
Okay.
She's just healing people. She doesn't want to kill people. Mm-hmm. She doesn't.
All right.
Just I should clarify that because of the end of the chapter. She doesn't want to. Whether it happened or not, she didn't want to. Mm-hmm. And that it comes up in the next chapter, most important.
The boys grabbed the man and helped him through the portal. I feel like they just kind of carry him and drop him in the portal.
Like a joke, yeah. Helped him, quote unquote. They just kind of tossed him through because they're tired of this.
Only 20 more, Hannah said, trying to be encouraging. Zin pulled them back up. They ate some veggies and rehydrated. He found 8 of them wandering around a mall that had been abandoned in the chaos. They were wandering. That's wandering, not wandering.
Sorry, you're going to have to help me. Only 20 more wandering.
That's supposed to be wandering.
Hey.
Around, looting.
But they were wandering, too.
Oh.
Maybe I should say they were wandering and wandering around.
They were wandering around, looting. Period. Cooting! There were 2 floors to the mall, and it had an L shape to it. Period.
Well, except it could be comma. There's an L shape to it. They had settled that they would need to split up.
Each taking an entrance.
Period.
Yeah.
No, because you're here, yeah.
Each taking an entrance. Oops. Yeah, you read the wrong part of that.
Then
push them to the fountain. Then push them to the fountain in the center where Otto will portal them out.
This could be dialogue.
I don't think it needs to be. It's pretty quick. Zig sent them to their own entrance. Renner had the longest entry point, the main entrance at the top of the L. He had the bag with him and reached in and pulled out a gold-coated shotgun. Coated, right? So, is this his gem taking effect?
Yeah, he can. It's more than money.
Yeah.
It's anything worth a lot. He can just kind of get it.
Yeah.
So he couldn't pull out a regular shotgun. Mm-hmm. He could only pull out a golden one. It's the fact that it's gold that matters. It's the money in a lot of ways.
When I first read it, I was thinking it was a gold shotgun. I'm like, that wouldn't work, but it's coated.
Gold coated, yeah. Plated, maybe it'd be better.
Plated, yes, better. And a box of ammo to match. He loaded the gun as he started walking toward the fountain where there were 2 people in front of him. When they saw him, Renner shouted, "Don't move." They obeyed. One of them, not one of the...
He loaded the gun and started walking to the fountain. One of the people was carrying a machete. One of the people.
What? You did find?
That's how you spell it.
Yeah,
people. I didn't realize it was
the first time
people.
you typed it, you wrote P and a pole.
People.
People. Was carrying around a machete. Dropped the weapons. They did as he asked. As he got closer, this sentence.
Oh yeah, I repeated myself here.
Yeah.
When it really should be this one.
Yeah.
Or it was drop the weapons. They did as he asked. As he got closer, when he got close enough. It could be that too, but we don't need it.
When he got close enough to see them, he realized they were kids, only 14 or 15. Granted, that's only like 4 years younger than them.
Yes, those 4 years are so much growth in this life. Those 4 years are an intense amount of maturity and growth, and for them it was easy, and it came to them naturally.
Right. Cool gun, one of them commented. He instructed them to keep walking down the hallway. A man on the second floor leapt onto a nearby banner, slid down it, and landing on top of Renner, began wrestling the gun away from him. Putting a smile on his face.
Oh, I can't do Renner because somebody jumps down onto Renner.
Yeah.
So I already say it, so it'll come up later.
Yeah. That's all Renner right now. On his face,
This should be a comment.
Yeah.
Like I was like, yeah, it is cool, isn't it?
Izzy was entering through the entrance that was on the long side of the L. She saw 3 people talking around a trash can, they were opening things that they had collected. She had a knife and a claymore sword from Hannah, both with sheaths. Placing the sword on its holster on her back, Izzy took out the dagger. She had the blade around the man's neck before anyone saw her.
Now, in my head, the holster on her back, it's like it connects to the metal and makes it kind of one thing. It's really cool.
I mean, you really are drawing this whole claymore thing from Cloud.
No, I'm drawing it from, what was that anime we watched? It's Claymore.
Oh, okay.
The lady with the sword. That's kind of where I'm going with Izzy. They all look badass in their armor and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the big sword. The big sword. It's not really from Cloud. Hannah is from Final Fantasy VII. Very much so. Except for I'm twisting it. Of course, you can't just write the same thing.
No, you gotta change it up. She said menacingly. The 2 of them walked towards the fountain. She stayed there until she heard a crash from the other direction. "Let's go," she said, pressing the man she was holding hostage to walk towards the noise. When they got there, she saw the 2 children and told them to walk toward the fountain. They took off, away from the tussle.
It's the same boys that he told to go towards the fountain. So they're just like, okay, fine. I'm not going to fight. We're just kids.
Hey, I lost it. You could
even be like, she says, keep going, or something like that.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know Renner told them to.
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
No, that's good. It's good.
The man reacted. Oh no, this is. I thought I had a spark of inspiration today.
Okay.
When they got there, she saw 2 children, and they told them to walk. They took off away from the tussle. She threw her dagger at the man who was on Renner. So I switched to she knows he's Renner now. Is that okay? If you saw 2 people tussling, you would recognize one of them and not the other.
Yeah.
And that would be clear. Okay. As if responding to her thought, it soared through the air and then directly into the man's leg, burying itself into the floor, just for good measure.
Okay, so
I wrote that today.
Yes. So this idea that I'm thinking of is like you're having it go right through his thigh. So this dagger...
Well, I was thinking calf, but thigh would work too.
This dagger is big... Well, yeah, I was just... Because that's where I can
down
point.
there where it was further away from Renner.
Yeah.
Because Renner would be up here and he would be back.
Yeah. So it's going from here all the way through a leg and into the floor.
She's stabbing my thigh. But that's you're focusing. I didn't write the thigh. Should I write calf?
No.
Whoa.
The leg thing that I'm having issue with here is that it's a pretty big dagger, or you can have it going through his pant leg into the floor to like pull him away.
He's screaming. He needs to get off Renner before anything happens. She needs to like make him stop.
Okay.
Her intention would clearly be to disable him.
So how long is this dagger? Because that's a pretty long dagger, and it has to go through bone to get to the floor.
The way it gets to him is through, as I say here, as if responding to her thought.
I'm not talking about the physics of it getting to the leg. I'm saying
the physics of it going through the leg.
Yes.
I'm saying it responded to her thought. It doesn't matter what physics says now. We let go of that when it responds to the thought.
So they severely maim this dude.
They I could make it foot. Because the idea is she's trying to go nowhere near Renner.
Yeah.
And so maybe foot would be better. Like he's like this, and it goes into his foot.
Yeah.
And that way, I avoid having a chance to hit Renner, and it doesn't seem as deadly as you're putting it out to be. You kept going for the thigh, which is weird.
Well, that's what the closest thing I had.
Oh.
Thigh was just the closest thing I had.
Oh, it's up here.
Yeah, so
took
foot.
Off.
The man's leg.
Through the air, directly into the man's foot. Burying itself into the floor, just for good measure.
Yeah, that feels a little better.
The man reacted by grabbing the hilt and pulling it out, tossing it aside.
Renner stood over him.
But that gives Renner the chance to get that shotgun into his face and say, "Stop!"
Let go of her hostage, and
the pair pushed them
toward the fountain.
Pushed the
antelope towards the
fountain.
fountain. A crash and gunfire erupted from the other side of the wall.
So what happens is you're watching Renner do his thing, and then you hear a crash, or you hear something, or something happens to him, and Izzy goes to check on them, and then they hear Otto and Hannah.
Yes.
Right? That's clear.
Yes.
Okay.
Izzy was at the short end of the L. She walked in, a nearby poster displaying women in underwear.
Because I thought it's an abandoned mall. Why would there be a video playing?
Yeah.
In the moment, and I gotta fix that.
There was a noise in a nearby kiosk. Hannah sent a large polished orb over the kiosk and saw the reflection of 2 people crouched behind the counter. Otto creeped into view, his door not being very far away.
He was doing his best at sneaking. That's probably a comma, not a period.
But Hannah saw movement on the top floor. It was a person, and he was aiming down his sights at Otto.
Size. He's aiming down his... at Otto.
Aw, he loves Otto. I love Otto, too.
The orb above the kiosk flew directly towards the man, destroying the floor beneath him. His gun fired as he fell. Period.
Yeah, and a comma after, beneath him. Otto was hit in the chaos. The people behind the kiosk. That's
chaos and kiosk.
Chaos and kiosk. Reading this out loud, that's a rough go. I don't think you need to change it. It's just a rough.
Well, if I do, it might help. And I have an answer.
Was hit in the chaos. The people behind the counter were lighting something on fire.
Behind the counter in front of Hannah. Should I do that?
No.
Okay.
A kiosk was fine. It just was hit in the chaos.
A Molotov cocktail flew in the direction of Otto. The orb flew over to it, surrounding it.
Okay. Periods, commas. What do you need after auto?
Ooh. Right here?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
The orb flew over to it, surrounding it, absorbing the explosion. Hannah's command. The orb flew over to it,
comma, surrounding it, comma,
absorbing the explosion. Hannah was standing above them, metal surrounding their hands. She coughed up some blood because of the explosion.
Now there's a problem here. The orbit didn't explode near her.
No.
And the shockwave was contained within the orb.
No, but you've already talked about it in the previous one that she can feel the pain of anything that
she
happens.
is that metal.
Yes.
And so when it happened to her, it caused something to happen to her insides, and it made her wounded.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure that wasn't weird, and it didn't come out of nowhere.
With a fury that even Renner would be afraid to feel, she lifted them up by the handcuffs. Handcuffs, that just came out of nowhere.
Well, no, because
standing
it says
above them, metal surrounding their hands.
Yeah, so she put the metal on their hands.
Yeah, and then held them by the fountain.
Well, I could also say...
Improvised. Okay.
The improvised handcuffs. And held them by the fountain. I mean, the fury of it. I can see it in my head. The metal around their hand moves quicker than their bodies can. It hurt them.
Yeah.
She's annoyed that people are trying to kill her family.
I'm okay, Hannah, Otto said. He was hitting in his side, it just felt like a graze.
It just felt like a graze. Otto. So he was hit in the side, comma, but it felt like a graze. So he stood up and introduced himself to the man that shot him.
What does he do? Stand up and say, "Hi, I'm Otto." Holds a gun to his face.
My name's Otto. Yeah. What are you doing here? Why are you doing this? Otto pointed the assault rifle at him and then slid the other weapon behind them. So he just with his foot. Hannah slipped some of her metal, carrying the curative liquid over to Otto's
wound. Yeah. What?
Slipped one of her metal balls carrying curative liquid.
Middle bass.
Metal balls carrying curative liquid over to Otto's wound. That makes sense, right? Hannah slipped one of her metal balls carrying the curative liquid over Otto's wound.
Yeah. He shouted, then felt better as he straightened up.
Like, ow! Okay, straightening up. Not as...
But he shouted, then felt better. He straightened up. Or is it he shouted, then felt better as he straightened up?
Oh, well. Oh, wait, that's fine. Because if I just move it here... He shouted, he straightened up, and then felt better.
Yeah. I don't know if shouted is the right term.
Cry. What's that? Ow!
Yeah.
What is that?
Winced.
Great. I wanted to capitalize that W. I don't know why. He winced, straightened up, and then felt better. Okay, it's better. Yeah,
it's like rubbing alcohol on the wound. Yeah.
Tastes like berries, though.
Hannah picked up the other gun, metal slipping over the hands of the other men. Otto walked over to the fountain and opened a portal to the other world. They had them walk through one at a time. So period after other world. He had them walk through one at a time. So he can auto counting each one till they got to 8. There's I'm assuming here that the other two come join up with them, but there's no actual confirmation for that.
Well, he got to 8. That's the confirmation.
Okay.
There's 8 of them there. They got all 8.
Okay.
There's only 6 left now. Yeah. Right? That doesn't make any sense. There's still more.
24 to 20. 8 is going to be, I know this math, 12 left. after this encounter. Oh, wait. What are you doing?
I want to know where that is.
6 red dots in a circle on an open field.
That should be 2 sets of 6 then. The other world, they must have went back then? I don't know. What did I do?
It's a good question there, Hooded.
Well, let's keep going.
All
If we need to change the number, I can go change that number to 17 or whatever it needs to be.
Okay. You replied by bringing them up. They refueled and got ready for the next encounter, not next one.
Oh.
Hit down on your keyboard.
I don't know where I am, though. That's why.
Hit down on your key. There you go. And go left. Left. Right there. Nope, too far. And ready for the next encounter. Oh, encounter. Everyone was haggard, but they pushed on anyway.
Haggard. What does haggard mean?
I'm
gonna Google it!
You're gonna Google haggard. I know it's exhausted.
There's something more specific to it, I bet.
And
It's specifically looking exhausted or unwell. Especially fatigue, worry, or suffering.
which, I mean, yeah, that's all of them.
I trailed on behind, haggard, and disheveled.
Yeah.
They had been worked to the bone, and they're going to go do another one. Mm-hmm. And you can see just a titch of Hannah's anger coming out there with the handcuffs. Just even Renner would be scared of that.
Mm-hmm. Zig brought up the next screen. 6 red dots in a circle on an open field. What are they doing? Hannah asked inquisitively. It would seem they have some commune with nature. Infrazig must come to dominate nature before he can obtain divinity. If he has people on either side trying to get in touch with nature, then she may just listen. Okay, put quotes at the beginning of that.
Oh, sorry, Squinch. I didn't mean to step on your head.
Aw. He stepped on the bogans.
I didn't mean to step on the bogans. She's on my feetsies. I'm gonna squish her. Oh, I got a puppy.
So we need to disrupt it on both sides. So maybe they had come through, so that way they can go back through on the same area. Maybe that's what they did. So you have 6 on each side.
Yeah, but I don't know how they got back through.
That's a good question.
There's no way they could have gotten a portal. Only Otto has the capability now. I made it that way specifically.
Yeah, so your number of 24 is bad.
It doesn't matter. It could be I remedy it later.
Okay.
But there's something really important happens here with Hannah.
Yeah.
And I had to stop and let that be explained in the next chapter. Very deeply, very carefully, very hard to describe.
We'll go back through and make numbers better.
Yeah, if it needs to be.
Yeah. They were surrounded by trees. Send us just
inside the forest.
Needs to be in quotes.
Oh, yeah, it's somebody else saying it.
It's Renner saying it.
Yeah, because he said the other thing. Okay.
Yeah. Otto opened a portal to the other side. Who's going? He asked. I'll go, Izzy said, holding her box. Zig said Infrazig is gone, remember? That button may not work on the other side, Hannah said, making a small copy of Troon. Why is she making a small copy of Troon? It never comes up. I can take care of it alone.
It was just to prove a point.
Okay.
I can do this.
Yeah.
Look, I got Troon on my side. I can do this.
And Izzy can wench her back in.
Yes.
So,
I guess that could be said too.
Yeah. Yeah, so the button may not work on the other side. You can always wench me.
Yeah.
Besides, you can always winch me. Hannah said, making a small copy of Trin. I can take care of it alone, comma, or period. If you can get them back into their world, just open the portal and I'll start.
I can take care of it alone if you can get them back into their world. It's one sentence, no comma. If you can take care of it alone, I will get them back into their world.
But why is she going to the other side? To stop the other group?
Yes.
Okay.
All of them need to be stopped before, just in case. Really, it's just in case.
Yeah.
But because he's doing it from both sides, that nature's starting to take a notice.
I hope she'll be okay, Izzy said ominously as Hannah disappeared beyond the portal.
Ominously is perfect. Yeah.
Did I say ominously?
Yeah, you did. I put it in there today.
I don't
She
remember.
said it ominously. I
Yeah,
hope
yeah.
she'll be okay.
All right, so this needs a lot of work.
Yes, but there's something here that needs to be expounded upon for sure.
Yes.
And talked about.
Hannah was alone on the other side, tired from all the work. She became angry. Why couldn't life be normal for me? She felt it was time for a temper tantrum. Is not worded properly. Being not in control of her emotions. Something to that effect, because she felt it was time for a temper tantrum is like a little funny.
It's not her. Right? It's not her.
It's not her, but she said, I wouldn't say she felt it was time to lose control. I don't think that's a thing that Hannah would do.
That's the point.
But listen to what I'm going to say.
What?
Instead of saying she felt like it was time to lose control, say something to the effect of her emotions becoming unstable, or
Wheel.
yeah, I was like, what word are you trying to use there? Something made her feel like it was time to lose control. Why do you want to say?
Because the thing that's inside of her is making her feel this way, not her. Troon, the thing that Troon is, that's inside of her, with her, has these feelings. And she is now feeling that, not her own feelings. I'm not. That's the thing here. She's not feeling her own feelings.
So instead
That's
of
why
saying,
it's irrationally angry too, because
Yes.
it's not coming from her.
So
Let me get isolated.
instead of whoa. Instead of saying something made her feel like it was time to lose control, couldn't you say she was feeling emotions she didn't feel like were necessarily her own? Because right here it's like she's making a choice to be like, okay, let's just let loose, when that's not really what.
That is exactly what she wants in the moment, sadly. It's not really her.
Right. But the distinction I'm trying to make here is that she can feel feelings that don't feel like her own.
That's why something made her feel like it was time to lose control.
Okay, so why don't you, instead of that line, which I don't necessarily care for, it's she felt feelings that didn't feel like her own, something that wanted to lose control. Something that wanted to be wild, something to that effect. Do you see what I'm trying to get at here? Something made her feel like she wanted to lose control. Yeah, that's a lot better.
She didn't want to. Something made her feel like that.
Yes.
She got tired from all the work. She became angry. Why couldn't life just be normal for me? Add that in. Something made her feel like she wanted to lose control. Before Otto could open the portal, she was hovering on a platform, small balls of metal poised above the 6 men.
Now, these are the 6 men that are coming through the portal?
No.
These are the 6 men
That were on the other side of the
that were on the other side. She sent the metal over their heads. When the portal opened, she screamed and pounded her fists on the metal beneath her.
It is just D.
No, it's not.
Oh, it isn't?
No.
It isn't ED. Okay.
Could be RAOR. Nope, it's not. She roared an unholy roar and pounded her fists on the metal beneath her. The metal shot down into their heads. Different sentence after her. Beneath her. Go left.
In the portal, she roared and pounded her fists on the metal beneath her. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, the metal ball shot down into their heads, killing them instantly. Anger subsiding as she came through the portal. The boys had their guns. Izzy stayed close to the edge of the forest.
They had them surrounded. They advanced on the 6 people. The six stood in a circle wearing robes and chanting. Izzy, Otto, and Renner came running in, shouting from all around. Running in from all around, shouting for them to get closer together. The people complied, getting closer together.
Eek. Just comma it and period that. Oh, that works. The people complied. Otto opened the portal. He saw them all on the ground.
What he chose not to see was the blood pooling around them.
He saw them all on the ground. So the thing that's funny about that is he saw through the portal.
Yeah, he opened it.
See, yeah.
He saw what was there.
Yeah.
Plain as day.
He saw the other group. The other side.
What about he saw on the...
All right, really quick before you need to
The
go back.
people complied. Otto opened the portal. He saw the other side. Whoa! I did that just now?
You did that just now. The other men.
Oh, that actually there. The other
Yeah.
men, yeah. The other men, all on the ground. He saw on the other side the other men, all on the ground. What he chose not to see was the blood pooling around them.
Hannah walked through.
What did that mean to you?
He's choosing not to see the carnage. He's choosing not to see the side of his sister.
Is that bad? Or is it more like he didn't want to believe it?
I think he didn't want to believe it, and I think it should come up later if it doesn't already. No, he chose not to see. That's fine. He chose not to see the blood pooling around them.
Hannah walked through and pushed the people back, and Hannah walked through before.
They pushed
the people back through the portal and closed it. So like they push them through and then close it, and the other guys on the other side see the 6 dead men.
They all hugged Hannah, happy to see her again. When Zig brought them up. When Hannah got there, she vomited and collapsed.
From the horror of what she just did.
Yeah.
Is that something that should be there?
No. That it's
implied.
It's very much implied there.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's that chapter. Let us know what you think. We're gonna keep going until there's no more book.
Whoa.
And then we're gonna do another book.
All right.
Ooh, what do you know about the other book? Tell a little bit about this new book. The next book we're gonna do. Just a hint at it.
Oh, hint at it.
Yeah, something cool.
A planet where there's no nighttime.
That's true. So look forward to the next book, and there's no nighttime. The sun is always up in that world. It's a very strange world. It's actually worse than that, isn't it? It's stuck on the horizon, seemingly. They don't know what's going on. It's just on the horizon forever. So
Recap.
Then look forward to the next book. It's called Pure Uncut Magic. Great name.
Scroll up. Da-da.
That's
what's funny about this?
17.
Except for if you go... Okay.
Killing
is wrong.
Just in case you thought that I had any ill will towards the president or anybody, I think killing is wrong. Even though Hannah does it in the book.
All right. First thing that happens.
Okay, because they go to the house first.
Mm-hmm.
A house infested is cleansed.
A house infested is cleansed. Okay.
That's funny.
He thinks he's funny, guys.
It's witty, darling.
He is kind of funny, though. Funny
Number
looking.
2. After they clean the house...
It's a trip to the mall.
A trip to the overcrowded mall. as a U. It got 2 U's. I needed a double U there.
A trip to the other crowded mall would be funnier. In my head.
Why?
Just my opinion.
The other crowded?
Yeah, the crowd from the other.
Oh, fair enough.
Okay, and then...
Kind of a play on overcrowded.
Yeah.
A cult.
Then... A cult of nature is interrupted on both sides, and Hannah does something not even she thought she could do. Clickety clacks.
Getting into my stuff over here. That is what I put in the... I just copy paste from here, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And I copy paste this and copy paste this into YouTube.
All right.
There we are. Thank you for listening. We love you.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.